Well, either way, I need people. I'm asking people, and like I said, I'd be happy to give the other side of your responses on your calls, but I need people to go out, vote today, vote tomorrow.
All right, you know what? Let's give this guy a chance.
Vote for Trump.
Let's give this guy. All right, you know what? I'm going to give this a try. I'm probably making a very big mistake, but I am going to let a few callers have a conversation with you because, quite frankly, I don't think I can continue the conversation. Why don't we go to Mark? Mark, you're on with MAGA Tommy. Go ahead, Mark. Have a conversation with Tommy.
Tommy.
Hello? Hey, Mark.
Hi, Tommy. How are you?
I'm great. How are you? You sound like you're from New York.
I'm actually from Pennsylvania, Philadelphia.
Okay.
I'm a former U.S. Army combat medic. And I would like you to respond about the comments that Trump made about me being a loser and a sucker, and what did I get out of serving the country? There was nothing in it for me. Can you comment on that?
Well, I think I'm going to vote. I'm going to tell you what Trump was saying, not my personal beliefs. But
right. Tell me what Trump meant by that.
That's what I'm going to do. What we were saying is that, were you, if I can ask you a question, were you ever captured?
Sure.
You were captured.
No, I was not. No, I was not. But he called all military suckers and losers.
Well, yeah, but really more of the ones that got captured.
No. So you stand by that military soldiers who were captured are suckers and losers?
Yeah, well, the ones that were captured, like that one guy, if you didn't get captured, he'd appreciate you more. But the point is, more that we need to have people out there that are voting for Trump so that this nation, this great nation of ours that you went to war, not to war for, but you went to be in the military for, comes back to being great again.
No, actually, I went to war because George Bush sent me to Kuwait and Iraq about oil. It was about oil, not because this country was attacked. George Bush sent me to Kuwait. And wait a minute, I'm not done. I didn't interrupt you. George Bush, who's a Republican, sent me to Iraq and Kuwait over oil, and I came back with bronchitis and was not treated. I was not getting any treatment from the VA up until Joe Biden and Obama passed the act of where I can go to the VA and get treated.
Right.
Right.
That's the point that Mark is making. Yeah. Go ahead.
Can I talk, Mark?
Go ahead.
Wait, I got one more thing to say. I got one more thing.
Well, you tell me.
He
when
also
you're done, Mark.
entered Area 60 and desecrated the ground in Arlington National Cemetery as a photo op, and it came out that the family did not know they were going to do that. That Gold Star family did not know they were going to take pictures like that. So you can respond to that. But I have no issue with you voting for who you want to vote, but I have an issue of why you're voting for him.
Right.
And
I think
he
that's
is
fair.
nothing.
I think that's very fair, Mark. Thank you.
Can I talk, Mark?
Go ahead, Tommy.
Are you done, Mark?
Go ahead, Tommy.
Okay, so Mark, first thing is this: what you said about the war, and Bush did not send you there for oils. First of all, secondly,
yes, he did.
The reason that Obama and Joe Biden had to put those things in to get you healed is because they were too weak to take care of our country as it is. So they figured they had to do something.
All right. Well, obviously, I disagree. Hold on. We got to move on to another caller, but obviously, I disagree with your characterization. We have another caller who'd like to speak to MAGA Tommy. Can I call you Tommy Boy? I don't know if that's okay. Let's go to.
You can call me
all right. Fair
Tommy.
enough. Let's go to Karen. We have another caller. Karen would like to speak to MAGA Tommy. Hi, Karen. Go right ahead.
Hi. I can't believe anything that Tommy is saying. Tommy doesn't even know who he's talking about when he's talking about the veteran that Trump doesn't even like. He doesn't even know his name. So he's just listening to Trump talking points. What about all of the people, all of the women, Tommy? What about all of the women that have accused him of rape and everything else. You think that the women of America want Trump running them?
It's a good question, Tommy. Why don't you respond to that, Tommy?
He's going to get the majority of the vote. He's going to get the popular vote.
No, he's not. You're crazy.
And that means that women are going to vote for him. Secondly, there's many, many women at his all of his conventions and his conferences and his speeches.
They're
and all that.
They're all coming from the same place.
Them all there. I bet you most of the women there wouldn't mind having a night with Trump.
Oh,
my God, that is like pathetic.
I don't think they'd mind having that.
You're kidding.
You think that there are women?
They root for him. They vote for him. They're doing everything. They're celebrating him. I bet you they'd love to have a night with him.
Yeah, right. For him to stick his hand up her skirt.
What's that, Karen? I bet you a lot of them would enjoy being grabbed by him.
Okay, come on, Tommy. That's insane. Tommy, that's insane.
You're
typical
you
look around at all of his speeches. Half the audience is women.
Tommy, that's insane, and I don't think there's anything funny about sexual assault. And I find it interesting that you think that there are women across the – I mean, maybe there are some deplorables out there that would want to sleep with Donald Trump. But I'll tell you one woman that doesn't want to sleep with Donald Trump. That's Melania Trump. All right, who are we going to do next year?
Every guy gets tired of being with the wife. Now, you give me Lauren Boebert. That's a whole different subject.
You just said that every man gets tired of being with the wife. Well, it seems like there are plenty of men out there that are not tired of being with the wife, including the second gentleman with Kamala Harris. They're a happily married couple. Tim Walz is a happily married man. Even J.D. Vance. I hate to bring him up in this one, but I will. Donald Trump is the one that has 5 kids with 3 different women, and Donald Trump is the one that has raw dogging a porn star 2 weeks after his son Barron is born. All right, we'll let Jeff have an opportunity to duke it out with Tommy Boy. Let's go to Jeff. Jeff, are you there?
J.D. Vance's wife.
I am here, yes.
All right, Jeff, go ahead.
Hello.
You're on with Tommy. Go right ahead.
Thanks, I think. Tommy, of course
Hi,
you're allowed to not be able to name any Trump policy that benefits you and continue to vote against your own interests. Yes, you can choose to vote for a serial sexual predator and a 34-count convicted felon. Really weird, but go for it. However, and this really sucks for you and your peers, there are a few things that the MAGA-stained Republican voters in the 2024 election will never, ever be able to separate from. You do not get to separate yourselves from the hate-fueled, overtly racist nonsense that is Trump's Republican Party, and you cannot escape that Trump sent COVID tests to Putin, and you are all okay with it.
That's true.
That is not America first. So, Donald Trump, see you next Tuesday.
But I have to start off the show. I am continued to be mesmerized by the bigotry, the hatred, and the racism that the far right continue to show on a regular basis. And Representative Clay Higgins is a perfect example. This is a guy who used to work in law enforcement. Clay Higgins is a guy who was a Republican and sadly has some power as an elected official. The Democrats are trying to censure him, rightfully so. I'll get to that in a moment. This is the tweet that Representative Higgins didn't just put on Truth Social, he put it on X. And I'm going to read it for you. And it is in regards to the legal, I repeat, legal Haitian immigrants in Springfield, Ohio. Quote, lots of laughs. These Haitians are wild, eating pets, voodoo, nastiest country in the Western Hemisphere, cults, slapstick gangsters. But damned if they don't feel all sophisticated now, filing charges against our president and VP. All these thugs better get their mind right and their ass out of the country before January 20th. First of all, there are wonderful Haitians in this country, and I will particularly refer to Springfield, Ohio, albeit in this country legally. Children, families who want better lives for their children, who are hard workers and good people. And this racist son of a bitch goes on social media categorizing the entire country and all of Haitian people, the wonderful Haitian people, by the way, that are in the United States of America, as thugs, gangsters, cults. No, sir, you are in a cult. And you are the one that is repeating the same lies that your cult leader, Donald Trump, said on a debate stage last week. This tweet is vile. It can incite violence. It's racist. It's bigoted in nature. And again, doubling down on the lies that somehow these legal Haitian immigrants in Springfield, Ohio, are stealing your pets and eating them, and somehow filing a lawsuit is a horrible thing, holding people accountable for their language, and somehow he's attacking them for that also. So what happened after this vile, despicable, disgusting tweet? Well, I'm very proud to say that a congressman that is from my district, Stephen Horsford, stepped up and had an interaction with him. And now they are trying to censure him, and he should be censured, by the way. This is disgusting. And it's amazing that there are still Republicans out there that are defending this tweet. So I'm going to go for you step by step here, starting with Stephen Horsford on the House floor yesterday. Here's what Horsford had to say.
I am submitting by resolution a motion to censor Representative Clay Higgins for violating Rule 9 by bringing discredit and disgrace to the House of Representatives.
Amen. I am proud of Stephen Horsford for doing the right thing. And then there's Mike Johnson, Mr. Religious. You know, I talk about this all the time on this show, how far right-wing MAGA Republicans hide behind their religion to try to make that as an excuse for their bigotry. I talk about it all the time. I talk about it when it comes to gay marriage. They say, well, my religion tells me to do that. No, it doesn't. They talk about transgenders. Oh, well, it's my religion. And now in this case, blatant racism, and they want to hide behind their Christianity. Listen to House Speaker Mike Johnson's response when asked about Clay Higgins' despicable and indefensible comments on Twitter.
Any comment on the tweet that Clay Higgins put out today about Haitians?
I heard about that on the floor just now as well. Clay Higgins is a dear friend of mine and a colleague from Louisiana, and a very frank and outspoken person. He's also a very principled man. And I think he tweeted, I didn't even see it, but he tweeted something today about Haitians, and he was approached
by January 20th.
Okay. Well, look, he was approached on the floor by colleagues who said that was offensive. He went to the back. I just talked to him about it. He said he went to the back and he prayed about it and he regretted it and he pulled the post down. That's what you want a gentleman to do. I'm sure he probably regrets some of the language he used, but we move forward. We believe in redemption around here.
Yeah, we believe in redemption. First of all, that's a lie. Mike Johnson is lying. How do we know this? Because Higgins told CNN, quote, "It's all true in my tweet. I can put up another controversial post tomorrow. Not a big deal. Like something stuck to the bottom of my boot. Let's move on." So this idea that he went to the back of the room and he prayed to Jesus, because that's what these right-wing evangelical religious nutjob racists do. They hide behind their religion when they're caught. This is who Higgins is. He is a bigot. He is a racist. He is a horrible human being. And when they are caught saying and doing horrible things, they say, well, I prayed to God. No, that doesn't cut it. The only reason why he took the tweet down is because he was forced to by a few members of his own Republican Party. They pressured him to do so. It wasn't because of Democrats. And then there's Steve Scalise, who was another despicable human being. This is the guy who voted against stem cell research, and then when he got cancer, he used stem cell research. This is the same guy who attacked people for wearing masks, and then when he had to wear a mask because of his illness, he had no problem wearing a mask. This is the guy days after a mass shooting who wears his AR-15 pin on his suit. Steve Scalise is a human piece of garbage. And listen to Steve Scalise's response when he heard that Democrats were trying to censure this bigot racist.
For what purpose does the gentleman from Louisiana seek recognition?
First of all, the tweet has been deleted already and removed, but I object
to the motion.
And if we want to go through every
Gentleman will
tweet
suspend.
from the other side, we'll be happy to do it.
Gentleman has
and
not
you
been
would be
recognized.
Appalled. No, we're appalled by you that you would defend this bigot. The same guy, by the way, who voted for David Duke. Yes, that's right. Higgins back in the day, saying himself that he knew that David Duke was a Nazi, still voted for a Nazi for governor because that's who this guy is. Can you imagine? This guy Higgins was in law enforcement. Geez, I wonder where Higgins got these ideas. Where could Higgins have possibly gotten the idea that Haitian immigrants are stealing your pets and eating them? Maybe it's from this guy?
In Springfield, they're eating the dogs, the people that came in. They're eating the cats. They're eating the pets of the people that live there.
That's right. That buffoon, while 67 million people were watching the presidential debate, again, shared these unproven and debunked claims that legal Haitian immigrants are stealing your pets and eating them. Oh, and it got worse. This was him at a rally the other day.
Do you think Springfield will ever be the same? I don't think. The fact is, and I'll say it now, you have to get them the hell out. You have to get them out. I'm sorry. Get them out. Can't have it. Can't have it. They've destroyed it.
It is so despicable and disgusting that in this country, there are so many people, not the majority, but so many people that support this man, spreading lies about good, decent people. The overwhelming majority of legal Haitian immigrants in this country are good people. I happen to know some of them who are appalled by what is going on in Springfield, Ohio. And make no mistake about it, the real problem they have in Springfield, Ohio is not the fact that there are so many legal Haitian immigrants there. It's the fact that they have bomb threats and supermarkets and churches are having to close down because of the threats they are receiving, not because of Haitian immigrants, because of the lives being put forth by the far right, Donald Trump, J.D. Vance, and this racist, bigot, clown, despicable excuse for a human being, Clay Higgins, who thinks this is funny. As I said, I am proud of Democrat Congressman Stephen Horsford, who is from my district. I voted for him, and I will vote for him again. So Stephen Horsford had some interaction, if you want to call it, for lack thereof, a run-in with Clay Higgins. And this is Stephen Horsford explaining exactly what took place in that run-in yesterday.
Well, I was supporting my colleagues who were trying to compel him to understand how his words are affecting the lives of actual people today. People who contribute to our communities, who are entrepreneurs, who are nurses and doctors, people who don't deserve to be targeted. Let's just start with that. They didn't do anything wrong. And I asked him specifically to remove his post. And he's like, I'm going to pray about it. What do you need to pray about? Just do what is right and stop this hateful rhetoric that is causing people to feel targeted. He told me no. And that is when I said, if you refuse, I will take this to the floor. We will move for a resolution to censure you. And that is exactly what we did. And sadly, the Republican leadership were more focused about silencing me than holding him accountable.
What a shocker, right? The Republicans want to silence a black man who's trying to do the right thing. But the middle-aged, crusty white guy who happens to be a huge MAGA supporter, who is a bigot, a racist, he's the thug, they'll defend him, right? They'll defend him. Listen, make no mistake about it. Many far-right MAGA Republicans feel the same way that Higgins feels. They're bigoted in nature. But Higgins is just so stupid that he actually showed it publicly. I'm sure in private they're giving him high fives. But publicly, a lot of the Republicans are saying, yeah, I'm glad he took it down. It was inappropriate. Many of them feel the same way that Higgins feels. Make America great again means make America white again. We all know that. Most of us, at least. Just go to one of Donald Trump's rallies and you'll feel it. It is a Klan cult. And this guy Higgins should be fired. Can you imagine you're working at an office, you're working at a business, whatever the case may be, and one of your colleagues takes to social media and takes an entire group of people, in this case, legal Haitian immigrants, He calls them all thugs. He calls them all gang members. He tells them all to get out of the country by January 20th if Donald Trump wins. He would be put back in office at that time. Most people would be fired for bigotry, racism, you name it. Most people would lose their job, but not in the Republican Party. If you make these types of claims, unsubstantiated claims, racism, and lies, sometimes you're rewarded if you're in the Republican Party. Now, he started off his statement by saying Haitians are wild, they're eating pets. That is not true. That is not happening in Springfield, Ohio, and that was, again, the lie that was put forth by J.D. Vance and Donald Trump. Then he uses the term voodoo. I don't even think he knows what that means. He says nastiest country in the Western Hemisphere. He calls it a cult, by the way. Meanwhile, there are people that buy Donald Trump condoms. They buy Donald Trump Bibles. They buy patches of the suit that Donald Trump was wearing when he was indicted. And yet he has the gall to say that those that are Haitians are in a cult. No, he's in a cult. He calls them slapstick gangsters. Think about the wonderful children and the wonderful families that come to this country legally in Springfield, Ohio, that are just trying to make a better life for themselves. He calls them slapstick gangsters. Damned if they don't feel all sophisticated now, filing charges against our president and VP. As if that's a cheap shot, he's trying to say, for attacking the Haitian immigrants who have hired attorneys to file charges because they are now victims of hate crimes. One person in that city, in that small town, had a gun pointed at them because he is of Haitian descent. There are others that have received threats. Kids in schools that have to leave their schools because of bomb threats, all because of this hateful rhetoric put forth. They have the right to file charges. And yet somehow Higgins is attacking them for doing so, attacking them and sarcastically calling them sophisticated. Then he starts calling all them thugs. We've heard this word before. They like to call brown people thugs. I have a question. Why are they not going after European people that are white for coming into this country legally? Why is it always brown people that they attack? I'm just asking that question. Why is it that the MAGA Republicans want to attack Haitians? Why are they attacking the brown people? A lot of people come into this country from all over the world that some of them happen to be white. Why don't they attack those people? Why is it always the brown people that they seem to attack? I'll let you answer that question for yourselves. I think we all know the answer to that one. It is disgusting. It is despicable. I am appalled by these statements. And for anybody that defends this guy's statements, boy, why don't you call into this show and tell me? Tell me why you would defend these statements. I want to know your thoughts. The base of the Republican Party in 2024 is bigoted in nature, period. But somehow they hide behind their religion like they always do with their bigotry. And Mike Johnson says, well, all is good in the world because he went in the back of the room and he started praying. Praying for what? Stephen Horsford is right. What do you need to pray for, you dumbbell, you dumbass? Take the tweet down. Apologize. He only took it down because he had to. He hasn't apologized, and then he's doubling down on it, saying he's not sorry for anything. Representation of the Republican Party today, particularly MAGA Republicans that are racist in nature. Make no mistake about it, the Make America Great Again slogan might as well say Make America White Again. And this guy is a perfect example of what I'm talking about every day. I say it every day on this show. Every single day I say when they show their bigotry and their hatred, they're cowards and they hide behind their religion. They did it again yesterday. They knew, oh my God, I can't believe he said that out loud. Oh boy. Well, let's just say he prayed. Let's say he went in the back of the room and prayed to God for forgiveness. It's a load of crap. It's a lie. And that's what these right-wing clowns do. They hide behind their religion. They preach their Christianity. And that's why I call him Cheeto Jesus, because they look at him like he's the next Messiah. They are despicable. They are disgusting. And I have had it. These are the same people that go after the LGBT community every day. These are the same people that go after transgenders every day. If you bring up January 6th, they'll immediately pivot and bring up Black Lives Matter. these same Republican pundits on social media going after black people every day. Anytime a black person commits a crime, they either show it on Fox News or Newsmax, or you see these middle-aged white Republicans tweeting it out. But you see, when a bunch of white people and Klansmen go in and storm the Capitol on January 6th, somehow they're heroes, they're patriots. Ladies and gentlemen, they're telling us who they are. Let's believe them. Clay Higgins is telling us who he is. Let's believe him. Donald Trump for years has told us who he is. Let's believe him. Let's believe those MAGA Republicans out there. Believe them when they tweet out stuff like this. Now, Higgins was dumb enough to actually do it publicly. Imagine what the kind of stuff that a guy like a Higgins says privately. Yell, hello, Herb.
Hey, Brian, how you doing, buddy?
I'm doing good, Herb. Thank you for calling in.
Okay. Listen, I just want to ask you a question.
Sure, shoot.
And then I'll hang up.
No, don't hang up. Why are you going to do that, Herb? Come on.
No, I just want to ask you a question.
Okay, but hang on the line. Hang on the line, because you might not like my answer, and I want to hear your reaction. So can you hang on the line?
No, because we can't have a discussion.
So why are you calling into the show then? Well, hold on a second. Let's try to have.
I want to get your.
I will let you ask, Herb. Let's try to have a discussion. Okay, let's try to do that today. Okay,
I've tried for years.
Okay, Herb. Let's try to have a discussion. Let's try not to interrupt each other. I will do my part so long as you promise you will do yours. Okay, fair enough?
You'll pod me down.
Okay, Herb, if you interrupt me, I will. So I'll ask it again. Let's try to have a conversation. Is that fair, Herb? Do we have a verbal agreement?
No, we don't.
So you're just going to hang up the phone after asking a question?
Yeah, because I want to hear you.
Well, that's okay. Well, why can't you hear it by hanging on the line? Why do you have to hang up?
Because I want to make sure I hear it well, and I know that if we have a discussion, you're going to pod me down, and it's not going to be fair.
Herb, I will speak very slowly for you and distinctly, okay? But I would appreciate
I know all your techniques.
Okay, you know all my what's that? Telling the truth? And going after MAGA for lying, something tells me that you're not going to like my answer and you're not going to be capable of debating.
Whether I like it
go
or
ahead.
not, I want to hear it.
I want to let everybody know that I am allowing Herb to stay on the line to have a discussion. Okay. My producer is not going to be hanging up on him. Herb is going to ask a question, which I will gladly allow him to do. But if Herb hangs up the phone, it's not us. I want to make that very, very clear to all the listeners out there. Okay, Herb, go ahead and ask your question.
Okay, my question is, if Trump wins the election in November, do you think the liberals or the Democrats or portions of them will riot or, cause problems, protests and cause riots and things like that after the outcome if Trump wins?
Okay, hang on the line.
That's my question.
I think that's a very fair question to ask, and I will answer it honestly for you, Herb. First of all, I don't put it past, and then he hangs up the phone. What a shocker. What a coward. But I'm still going to answer his question. By the way, that was Herb that hung up the phone. There are people on the left that could be violent. Sure. There are people on the left that'll be very upset. I hope that doesn't happen. I hope Trump doesn't win. But Herb, here's the best way I can answer that question. I started off by saying it's possible. Democrats didn't storm the Capitol on January 6th. It wasn't Antifa. It was right-wingers and right-wing fringers, maybe like you, I don't know, who stormed the Capitol and tried to affect the outcome of a free and fair election. You see, back in 2016, Hillary Clinton conceded. So the real question that you should be asking yourself, Herb, and I would ask you the question now if you weren't such a coward and hanging up the phone, like so many of you MAGA people that call into the show that are not intellectually able to have a conversation. The question that you really should be asking is Donald Trump going to concede if he loses? You see, there's one candidate in this election that if they lose, they're going to concede. That's Kamala Harris. There will be a lot of people in this country, me being one of them, that will be very disappointed if Donald Trump gets back into the White House. I'm not going to be violent. And I would like to believe that we are not going to have an insurrection if Donald Trump wins. However, to the contrary, I think, and you could ask and listen to the FBI and threats that they already are receiving, that if Donald Trump loses in November, there could be another insurrection. I am more worried, Herb, of political violence coming from the right than I am the left. And if you're going to ask me why, I say January 6th. It's possible that there could be violent coming from the left. I'm not going to discount that. I hope it doesn't happen. I am more concerned about violence coming from the right. And if you actually had the intelligence and you actually had the guts for me to ask you that question, whether you agree or not, I would gladly ask you. But you don't, Herb. Just like many of my MAGA listeners out there that listen to this show every day, they'll talk smack on social media. I have lunatics on social media that say, Brian's show is over if Donald Trump wins. This is how stupid some of these people are. They have an IQ of like 20. First of all, many could make the argument that it's actually better for my show if Donald Trump wins. Now, I don't want that to happen. My show is going to be just fine. I'd rather Kamala Harris win. But many could make the argument my show is going to be even more popular if Donald Trump wins. So for you idiots out there that are saying your show's going to be over when Donald Trump wins in November. Well, Donald Trump lost in 2020. My show's been growing every single day since then, and my show will just be just fine, win or lose. I would say thank you for the call, Herb, but it wasn't much of a call because you hung up the phone like the coward that you are. Hey, Roy, what's going on, man?
Hi, Brian. Roy calling from Texas.
What's on your mind today, Roy?
Well, not real happy with a lot of things you're saying.
Okay, so I appreciate you calling in. Let's have that conversation. Let's go one by one, right? What's one thing that I've said on this show that you really disagree with me on, that you don't like?
Well, number one would be the border.
Okay, so what did I say on this show? No, she's not. Mayorkas was the border czar, if we're going to be factually accurate.
The border czar.
Okay, so first of all, sir, I'm going to repeat myself again. You can look this up if you don't believe me. By the way, I didn't mention anything about border czar today on the show, so I don't know why you're bringing that up, but that's okay. I'm happy to have this conversation with you. You can look this up. The person who was in charge, sir, I need you to listen for a moment because you brought it up. The person who was in charge in Joe Biden's administration, who Joe Biden appointed, was Mr. Mayorkas, not Kamala Harris. It's not a conversation. So you lost that one. Give me something else, something that you disagree with me on, because that's just a fact.
Well, let us just continue talking about the border.
No, okay, what about the border? I didn't even bring it up today, but what about the border? Go ahead.
Why are we letting all these Mexican illegals coming across?
Were there any Mexican?
We were building a wall.
I'll answer your question.
Well, hang on. Can I please finish?
Okay.
We were building a wall, and quite frankly, if we were able to give all the border towns, the people that live there, guns and bullets, and the full faith and back of the government to shoot to kill, do you think that'll stop?
Okay, so let me ask you a question then. Okay, now I'm gonna interject. Are you telling me that you would endorse families that are crossing the border, whether it be illegal or not? You're endorsing people shooting kids and mothers and fathers? Is that what you're saying on this show, sir?
People coming across the border?
Answer my question. Are you okay?
Well, if that's what's going to stop people.
So you're telling me, okay. So you're calling into this show. And I just want to be clear because I don't want to misrepresent your thoughts. You would be okay with a bill put in place for all border security to shoot and kill anybody who attempts to cross the border illegally. Is that your position, sir? Because it is the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life. You're telling me that you would be okay with kids being shot and killed with their families crossing the border. Is that your opinion, sir? Yes or no? Answer the question.
Let's just move on.
No, we're not going to move on. We're not. No, pot him down. We are not going to move on because it's my show and not yours. I am going to ask you one more time, and then we can move on when you answer my question. Are you endorsing a proposed bill that would allow border security members to shoot and kill anybody that is crossing the border illegally? We are not moving on until you answer my question. Yes or no?
Well, based on that, then I would say yes.
Okay, pot him down again. Then you are a freaking moron is what you are. You are a disgrace to this country. For you to say that you would be okay with children being shot and killed because they're with their families trying to cross the border, many of them seeking asylum and a better life for themselves. And you would be okay with shooting a bunch of people trying to cross the border, whether it be legal or not, makes you a moron, sir. You're a moron, okay? I'm sorry, I can't have a civil conversation with somebody that would be okay with shooting children. What would you say about an 8-year-old kid, their father and mother, whether you agree with their actions or not, trying to cross the border? You're okay with a child being shot? Is that what you're telling me live on this show right now?
Am I on right now? Am I?
Yeah, you're on, sir. Are you okay with children being shot?
Well, I think that what would happen is when the word got out.
Okay. The
Mexican illegals across, and then families would stay behind.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that would be a great policy, sir. I think most people would definitely support that. Shooting people that try to cross the border illegally, whether they're 8-year-old kids or not. Sir, that's a wonderful take on your part. Anything else brilliant that you'd like to bring up on this show? Thank God you're not a policymaker.
I'd like to talk about a couple of Biden's policies, especially because of what just happened in the East with the hurricane. Now, Biden and Kamala are both in favor.
Why don't you pronounce her name right? It's Kamala.
Kamala.
Yeah.
Are both in favor of EVs. Now, this big hurricane came, hit the East Coast, and if you don't have a gas car, you're going to get stuck. EVs aren't going to help, are they? Because you can't really plug it into something that's not working.
Should we shoot people that are driving EVs too?
Well, no, not if they're Americans.
I'm sorry, I have to go back. I'm sorry, I have to go back to what you just said because I am just mesmerized. You're obviously a Trump supporter, right? You think that you're right? Of course. What a shocker! You think that children should be shot at the border? Are you insane?
Move on. I've got more Biden policies I'd like to talk to you about.
Quickly, go.
One of them is DEI. Now,
what a shocker!
People should get the job because they're qualified for it, not just because they're a black.
Yeah. Why don't you just want to call them the N-word, don't you, sir? Is that what you want to do? Is that what you want to do?
I didn't say the N-word.
Okay, so when I know you didn't say it, but I think you want to say it, right? A DEI hire. Why don't you just call them the N-word? Is Kamala Harris a DEI hire, sir?
Well, I think she's more one that slept her way to the top than a DEI hire.
She slept her way to the top. How did she do that?
Well, if you go on the internet, you'll see all those videos of her with that black guy, the governor, I believe, or the mayor in L.A. And then,
if a woman is seen in a picture with a male, that means she slept her way to the top, and that's your evidence.
Well, it sure the hell looks that way. Looks like she.
Are you married, sir? Are you married, sir?
Yes, I am married and I'm a family man.
You sound like a wonderful family man. Yeah, shocker.
I'm a church-going Bible.
I wonder what the.
Yes, I have one of Trump's Bibles.
Gotcha. That's not a shocker. I wonder if in the Bible it says something about shooting children. But anyway, has your woman been seen in any pictures with men in her life? Has she ever, other than you, has she taken any pictures with men? Ever?
Yes, she has.
Oh, okay. So maybe she slept her way to the top then, because according by your stupid logic.
Well, she's not the vice president or the president.
Yeah, but she could have. What does she do for a living? She slept her way to the top to get her job.
Well, she's a housewife, so I guess she did sleep with me to get to there.
Well, you are a misogynistic pig, aren't you? You're but I'm keeping you on the line because I just want to expose this is your typical MAGA supporter. He thinks kids should be shot at the border if they try to cross the border. He makes a misogynistic joke about his wife. What else would you like to say, sir?
Well, I'll tell you, I'm not a business owner, but if I was,
shocker,
I would hire trans women. You know why? I get the strength of a man, but I got to pay him a woman's wage.
Okay. Well, I appreciate the call. Thank you so much for calling in, Mr. MAGA supporter. What was that guy's name? I don't even remember his name. Doesn't even matter at this point. Let's call him Mr. Deplorable. Thank you for calling in, Mr. Deplorable. Let's review real quickly before we move on. I appreciate any MAGA supporter that calls into the show that's willing to have a conversation with me, right? I do. That was Roy who called in. He believes we should shoot Anybody who tries to cross the border illegally. Could be kids. He thinks it'd be a good deterrent. He also made misogynistic comments about Kamala Harris and even his own wife, and then he made a transgender joke. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Republican Party and the MAGA Republicans in 2024. Another middle-aged, ill-informed, uneducated white guy who makes horrible statements on this show. Notice, by the way, also, he didn't mention anything specifically that I said that he disagreed with. I never said Harris was the border czar because she's not. Mayorkas was the guy in charge. Thank you for the call, sir. Thank you very much for the call. Get back into your mobile home, please. And good luck with the 2 teeth that you have, sir.